Definitely, I came here as a novice, and with novice meaning someone with absolutely no experience in the world of weight training or being trained whatsoever. We've seen people from afar be trained, but having it happen to myself was an unknown quantity. And it was a risk. It was being adventuresome. It was also just allowing myself to believe that something which I'd never experienced before could be very beneficial to my life. So coming into my first gym experience of being at Gold's Gym, I would say to you, I felt like I just didn't belong in that environment. Because I never, I mean, you read about it in the newspaper, I've driven by Muscle Beach on my bicycle, but to be in this environment where all these people are so devoted to building their bodies, and here I walk in and I've never been devoted to building my body. And the experience of meeting Susan Thomas, suddenly waking me up to things that I never thought were problems, which is good. What did I refer to? First off is posture. I always thought I had good posture. I had no idea how poor my posture was. I had no idea what had been happening to my posture. And I became absolutely changed as a person, just learning how to walk straight and learning how to carry my body to the point that it was such an enlightening moment that every single day in my life, I think about my posture, and I feel so different walking with good posture and living with good posture. And it's almost ridiculous that I was letting my body crunch down into something which I'm not, and I don't want to be. And now, whenever I look at someone, I'm saying to myself, God, I should help them with their posture. And their posture is, it's not good for them, and so on and so forth. That's one thing. Then, as I said, the first time at Gold was just everything was like foreign science, a foreign language. And I didn't know how to breathe right. I didn't know how to stand right. Everything was wrong with me. But the great thing is that by the second time, after the first 4 hours, by the second lesson, I was starting to become a part of the whole experience. And I would tell you that the second time I started to have a whole different feeling of enjoying what was going on. First time, everything was scary. Everything was, it was just too new. Everything was awkward. I felt I was a total first grader nursery school person. Second time, started to feel like I was in the flow of something, and all this information that she told me was seeping in. And I realized that there was so much involved with the notion of exercise. It was a whole mental place to be. It was a whole journey. It wasn't just going up to a weight machine and pulling on the weight. It was thinking expressively about your life, your existence, how you focus, what you let distract you. It becomes an experience, a whole philosophical experience that intellectually, as an intellectual person that I am, all of a sudden had a whole deeper level of experiential meaning. So that was incredible in itself and surprising. Just didn't expect that. Here I was kind of just thinking we're going to move muscles. But all of a sudden I thought it's a mental connection. So I'm awed by that. By the end of my second session, I was very in touch with how many calories got burnt in the experience. And I have this watch, a calorie counter. And it was like 1,600 calories. I've never seen 1,600 calories counted off of my watch. The most I've gotten up to is 400, 600. But 16, it was really almost 1,700. And to think that that's the outcome of this weight training. And right now my association is partially burning calories because I want to lose this chunk of fat that's been around my body. But it was exciting just knowing that was also going on, that it wasn't just exercise, but it was major burning and fat burning. So that was impressive. And then it took so little time to start feeling different, physically, feeling so much better. And everything was shocking because I just didn't have a background to know that weight training could have this kind of result in such a short period of time. Many things that Stephen, I was just speaking to the third person, Stephen told me, I was saying, you got to be kidding. I don't think this is true. But stuff like that stretching that you said to me, you know, to do the right weights, it's like everything's going to come loose or come unloosened, or all of a sudden, all those hours that you're spending stretching, the weightlifting's going to do. Well, this was, again, like pseudoscience to me. I go, how could that be possible? But the body is moving in a much more at ease manner in a very short time. And I feel like it's such a fast change that happens. Body changes in a very, I mean, maybe it's my imagination, but my clothes are fitted. No, it's not my imagination. My clothes are much looser since I started weight training. Since even this has only been, we're at 6 or 7, session maybe 7, 6 or 7 right now. There's been a definite change. I feel my hands run over my chest, my abdomen that seemingly is a different size already. I know I have a long way to go, but I feel like every single time I go to a gym, maybe it's another 1/8 of an inch disappears from my existence. So I know like every 8 times it's going to be another inch less. But that's how it feels. And so I'm having a very positive experience. The other thing is that just the feeling of lifting weights and doing these exercises, it's not a laborious experience, which I might have thought of it being afterwards. Like, oh my God, we're going to sweat, we're going to suffer, we're going to be shaking. That's not going on. It's like it's more of a feeling of accomplishment. Every weight lift, every weight move, it's a, oh yeah, kind of experience. It's like, I got it, I did it. One of the great things about Susan and even also in the training is teaching them about form. And again, this is a foreign idea. What about form and lifting weights? You just lift weights, that's how you think. All of a sudden I learned the back needs to be in a certain way, the arch of the back, the chest is in a certain way. All of a sudden in doing these exercises, it has to make sense. And once I get to see other people lifting weights, I am saying to myself, guess what, you're doing it wrong. You're not using the right muscles. You're not getting the benefit of what this exercise. But the education, I could not have said that a week and a half ago. A week and a half ago, I would have been a total ignoramus about anything. I would think, oh, you're lifting weights, they must be doing it great. But now I understand that so much of your body position, how you understand what's being accomplished, what muscles are being used. It's a whole insight into the body from this very short learning experience, which is a short yet intense learning experience. So the point I was making is that it does feel good. It's like every single exercise is an accomplishment. It's like a victory. Start off and say, can I do this? And before you know it, you're doing it. And you're amazed that this is part of you. It's part of what you're able to do. So it's a very growth-oriented exercise. I was really going to say it's a growth-oriented experience. And it feels good because you said yesterday I could never have thought of myself doing this, and now I'm doing this. And now it's like I want to say to myself, how could I not do this? So it's a real transition. I'm a person who has chosen to be dedicated to this. And I'm enjoying the dedication. Even in this initial phase, the initial part takes many hours, so usually we go and then you leave. But this is an opening of saying what it's like to be in the gym for 3 hours, 4 hours, and you're opening training 5 hours. Time just flies because so many new things are happening. So now, in my first week of being an independent person after my training, it's the same thing. I'm there, the time goes by, I'm working as many moments as I can work, I'm being as efficient with my time as possible, and I'm feeling every single moment is such a benefit. And it is fun, and I make it fun. I enjoy things fun, and I enjoy the idea of learning how to concentrate, learning how to focus. All these other people in the gym have these Walkman, these radios stuck into their ears. I don't need any of that. My whole thing is going into another space and learning how to enter into the exercise and enter into the moment, into the weight movement, and benefiting from every moment, which is like a sanctified moment of just doing something that's changing life. And I think that's maybe a good phrase, that this experience is simply you're involved in the process of changing life every time you do this. in a sense, what's the word? Reinforcement. It's positive reinforcement that happens almost on an immediate basis. So when you exercise, I feel different every single time I've had my session. I know I'm not the same person after it finishes. I know I've already experienced something called an accomplishment. And who gets to feel these accomplishments every single time they do an activity? So that's another eye-opening experience. I think I'm sharing with you that life has changed for me already. And it's perhaps 2 weeks that I've been involved in this process. And to think of what's happened to me in 2 weeks, I'm so much looking forward to the next 2 weeks and the weeks following, because it's fun and it's a benefit, and I can feel the change and I can feel my life evolving, and it's all for the good. It's all for health. It's all for just feeling better about oneself, feeling proud about who you are and how you look, and never having to look in the mirror and say, "Oh my God, that's me." I'm going to be able to look in the mirror and say, "Wow, I'm proud of what I accomplished."
Wow. Would you say to a person that's contemplating my program to take the risk and invest in themselves and not worry about money and past trainers and, all the nonsense that they've actually experienced at trying to get their body together, like as far as being in shape? Because what I was explaining to you when you came in, it's not about being in shape, it's about all the things that you expressed. And I would sit back here and smile because you said you tried boot camp and you did all those other things. And at the moment I was talking to you, it was difficult for you to really believe exercise could be different. So I've had several men that have been in the same situation as yourself. They're overweight, they're over 50. They've had some good experience, some poor experience, but unfortunately, as far as it relates to yourself, they've let themselves go where their health is at risk, great risk, and they're still thinking whether they should invest some money on themselves to move to a better place. I don't know if they're looking for a guarantee or they need a psychiatrist, but in closing, what could you say to help them cross the line? When I say cross the line, is to release control and to understand that I am a body designer. I'm not medically qualified, but I do create a prescription that addresses your body on many different levels as you've experienced. And you were also made able to enter your new gym, LA Fitness, even though you were trained at Gold's Gym. And as you know, everything fit, or we created everything to fit.
Okay, so on a little point. We start off at Gold's Gym, which is a whole environment unto itself, world famous with active bodybuilder people one can imagine. They're shocked for someone who isn't used to seeing things of this nature that are real, but they are there. And I personally did have a little concern about how it was going to be transferring from Gold's Gym into my own gym. And I found it to be a very smooth transition. And the gym that I attend is called LA Fitness. It's different than Gold's Gym, a different environment. Gold's Gym has a whole noise factor to it, sound factor to it. Very experienced bodybuilders all over the place. LA Fitness, not professional bodybuilders, so it's people working out with weights, and you have various trainers around, lots of people giving you advice and telling you, no, you should do it this way and that way. And you learn about what you listen to and what you don't listen to. But now it's my third session being on my own gym. I've learned the structure of my gym, and I've learned how to make my program work very efficiently in the gym. And now it's something new, and it's becoming almost like it's part of me already. And I know in a few more sessions, my whole routine is probably going to be so inside of my brain that it's going to be almost like just a dance, flowing from one step to the next step to the next step. So that's great. Now, on to the financial part of this. I personally had no idea of what it would cost to be trained or personally trained and educated. And I had no preparation as to what it was going to be. So I was definitely, you could call it, shocked at the initial price tag. And I probably still am shocked. I don't want to tell you any lies. It's a lot of money to invest. It's a lot of money to invest in oneself. And I also can think about a bit. For me, money isn't something that's easy to come by. I'm in a position in life right now where it's a big transition with finances. It's a little rough. But I had to make a decision that I was worth the investment. Because this is, in a business, I always think about how much money I'm going to put into a new piece of equipment. I currently own a photography company. So cameras cost an awful lot of money. Their computers no longer the cameras. You're buying a very high technology, high-tech computer. So here I was buying something for my internal functioning that I'd never done before. In other words, I'd never invested in myself. I've invested in equipment that's supposed to make me money, but now I was asking myself to give permission in giving myself life. So how do you put a dollar sign on life? And knowing that you're going to be doing something that's going to be helping your life as opposed to trying to make you money. So it was a different way of thinking. I didn't discuss it with anyone else. I just had to decide internally that even though it was a big step for me, I was going to do it. And I know another factor is the money. The money is a commitment. And when you commit money, you also commit yourself. And I'm saying it's because of the money that I'm going to be going to the gym virtually every day of the week, every day of the week I possibly can, meaning a priority. And no matter what's going on in my life, I'm going to keep the block of time, maybe starting at 5 in the morning or finishing at midnight, to make this happen. But it's my commitment to myself and opportunity to do something that if I didn't kick myself in the rear end, this opportunity didn't come my way, and for some fortuitous reason, it came my way. If I didn't take advantage of it, I would be the one to lose. So this is all about motivation. And my investment is not only an investment in my body, but it's an investment in my life. And I feel that because of what I'm doing now, I will make more money in the future better than what I could ever do without this. What I mean by that is I'm going to be feeling better about myself. I'm going to look better in the world. I'm going to be a healthier person. I'm going to be able to perform with greater confidence, with greater self-esteem, with greater self-assurance, and it's all going to pay off. And that's how I'm choosing to treat this experience. I know I'm going to be growing from this experience this way, and it's my goals and it's my values that I attach to this, even though it's only been 2 weeks. In my mind, it's already blossomed into so many new avenues, and it's all up to me to make it happen. So that's a different perspective on the financial commitment. So it's more than just, yes, writing a big check, but it's about what's going to come forth from that big check. And that big check is only going to be made bigger in a different perspective, and I'll be paying myself for the investment I've made in.
Well, thank you, Daryl, for sharing this. And so on the last closing statement, you've been really thorough. If somebody was in your situation as far as size, shape, health, etc., in closing, what would you say to them I know instead of mumbling, I tell people there's 3 types of people. One is a person that says, I really want help, but I want you to do all the work, but I'm going to say I want help. There's another one that says, I really want help, but I'm going to sabotage whatever you try to do to help me, but I'm going to say I want help. And the other one says, I really want help, so what do you need? Let's move forward. So if I get a person that's stuck in the second position that's using all sorts of excuses, it could be money, it could be past experiences, which doesn't mean much because, yesterday is gone. What could you say to them to to move forward? What gave you the push, the courage what gave you the courage to move forward?
My sense is, until you can say to yourself, I'm not going to play with any longer, you ought to make the choice. It's no longer just a dilly-dally thing, I can wait another day, another week, another month. Somewhere one sees that life is no longer a joke, or life is no longer something you take lightly. Every day is another day of messing up, or getting actually worse than your current situation. So one has to understand that I'll do it next week or next year or whatever. Everyone gets serious. All things that get us distracted, time gets us distracted, maybe it gets us distracted, things in work get. I know for myself, I've been distracted by life, work, responsibilities for a lot of decades, and it catches up with you. Some people will have severe health problems. If I never did this, I would be leading towards who knows what kind of severe health problem. I would say one needs to take themselves seriously. Also, for the person who's so good at considering everyone else but never considering them, the nature that I have, the nature doesn't go backwards. It only clicks forward. And until you take on the responsibility of saying, the job is in my hands, at that moment, someone has to see it serious. You can't talk anyone into it. They have to understand. No one's going to do it for them, including Stephen and including Thomas. All you are a vehicle to open up a door for another person to say, I will commit myself. I'm going to follow through. I'm here to learn. They have something special to teach me. I will let them do it. Being on that level, you're going to go for it.
Thank you.